Today we're talking about parashat Vayechi. Parashat Vayechi is last parasha of this book, of this Sefer Bereshit. And I want to speak today about the blessing that Yaakov gave Yosef. We call it Ben Porat Yosef, Ben Porat Ain. I want to speak about evil eye. I want to speak about good eye. I want to speak about the personality of Yosef HaTzadik. So when Yaakov before he passed away, he calls his son, he calls his other sons, and he gives them instructions. Like somebody that goes to the other world, he wants the kids, he wants to guide them, tell them what they're good with, what they're bad with, what they have to work on, which qualities, which one has this advantage or this disadvantage. Okay? So, this is usually what people do before they die. In the Haftarah of this week, we read the same thing. It says, "V'yikrevu yemei Yisrael lamud," and the same words exactly says in the Haftarah, "V'yikrevu yemei David lamud." When David HaMelech passed away, before he passed away, he calls his son Shlomo, and he instructs him what to do. It says over there that he tells him, he warns him, he should go in the path of the Torah, to fear Hashem, to do all whatever is needed. Okay, he prepared him, building the holy temple, he told him what to do and so on. And he instructs him also over there how to take care of certain people. He speaks here about Shimi ben Gera. Shimi ben Gera was this man that cursed him as he was on the run, King David, and he didn't want it to look too personal, so he didn't want to punish him in his lifetime. And he told Shlomo HaMelech, with your wisdom, I know that you will find a way how to take care of him. Again, why? Because he just didn't want it to make it too personal. Okay? It's not, Shimi ben Gera was Mored b'Malchut. He was rebellious against the king, and the king was supposed to kill him. But again, the whole purpose of the righteous people is to glorify the name of Hashem. And if there was damage done, okay, injustice, somebody has to fix it. So again, it's not something personal. It's just to do it for the name of Hashem, and that's what David does. That's what happening here. So David instructs Shlomo who to take care of, who to revenge on this and to. Why we don't see this when Yaakov Avinu passed away? Do we see that now Yosef gets up, now he gets the power. Now that his father passed away, he can take revenge on his brothers. We don't see it. It says about Esav, he waits for his father to die so he can take care of his brother. We don't see it at all by Yosef HaTzadik. He never thought of hitting them back, punishing them back. He had all the power. He was the king. He was the control, the ruler of the whole world at that time. He could do many things to them. And we see that he didn't. Havak Shidon, he wrote in his book something very interesting about Ben Porat Yosef, Ben Porat Ain, and I want to share it with you. He said that Yosef HaTzadik got this special blessing, which I'll explain soon, from Yaakov, because of his special personality. As we said, everyone gets in his blessing, if he has certain advantage, it makes it, he tells him how to make it even stronger. If he has a disadvantage, like Reuven, like Shimon, like Levi, he tells them how to work on their anger, and so on. So Yosef, he has this special personality that he got this blessing of being protected, being immune from Ain Hara. How come? Why? So, usually, let's say a person like Yosef HaTzadik, he has so much advantages. His looks, he was a very handsome man, okay? His qualities, his success. Nobody can understand how successful he became. Every place he went, everything he touched, it was like a golden hands that becomes, everything becomes so special. And obviously, naturally happens when somebody has so much success, people look at this on a bad eye. Because when you're too much outstanding, people don't like it. Okay? And so, it says that Yosef and all his descendants, his kids, they don't have to be afraid of Ain Hara, of evil eye. Okay? We'll explain about that. It says about Yehoshua that when he inherited the Bnei Israel at the land of Israel, right? When Bnei Ephraim, descendants of Yosef, come to him, he was also from Yosef, Yehoshua. When they come to him and they demand their portion in Israel, he tells them that they specify that they are a large number, they are a big amount of people. He tells them, Im Rav Amata, if you're too many, go to the forest. Why do you have to specify? Why do you have to mention the fact that you're a lot of people? Don't say it. It's not good. And they tell him, we are the descendants of Yosef. We are immune from Ain Hara. We are not afraid of this. We have no problem. And it's true. All the descendants of Yosef said they don't have power of Ain Hara. Says in Masechet Nedarim, when even Yaakov Avinu, when he sends his kids to Egypt, he tells them, you are all fine boys, nice build, beautiful kids, 10 children from one family. Please, he tells them, don't all of you come in one, from the same entrance, from the same place, because people might, it's not good. I'm scared, I'm afraid of this. It's not good. Separate. Go get into different entrances so people would not notice you, won't pay too much attention to your appearance, to the fact that you're so special, you build nice, and so is there something like Ain Hara or not? Of course there is. Even we say that even Yaakov was afraid of this. It says about Sarah Imenu that when Hagar got pregnant, she made Ain Hara on her pregnancy, and she had a miscarriage.
Sarah Imenu
No, Sarah Imenu made Ain Hara on the pregnancy of Hagar, and she had a miscarriage. And also, when they sent Hagar and Ishmael away, she looked at in a certain way at Ishmael, and he got sick. So wait a second. We know that Sarah was Tovat Ain. Tovat Ain in Hebrew means she's kind. She used to make a lot of kindness to people. She used to help others. We know that they used to make so much chesed. She and her husband, constantly their door was open to all the sides. So whoever wants, just come. Hundreds of people, thousands of people, just come and come. Keep giving and giving and giving. So such a woman that has such a good eye, how come she can make Ain Hara or make an evil eye think of? So we have to understand that the eye itself does not damage, but the look, the way that you look at things, and the eyesight sometimes, okay? This is something that can damage. The eye is like a camera. If you caught a bad picture, it's not because of the camera always. Sometimes you just didn't get it the right way. The person that sees certain things, he is the one that put inside it his feelings, his emotions, his thoughts, and usually the more sensitive the person is, the more his eyesight, his sight, he's looking, he's watching at somebody or at something could be more meaningful. and it could either damage or improve certain things. So it depends on the one that's seeing this, not the eye itself, but the way he watches, the way he sees things. For example, we have an example in the Torah for somebody that had an evil eye. It says, Bilam Rasha, he was shtum ein, even didn't have one eye. He wanted to curse the Jewish nation. And so the first thing that he wanted to look is how much population are, how many are they, you know? And he wanted to put an evil eye in the number of the Jews. And the more his vision, his sight was broad, was wide, he knew a lot. He was very knowledgeable. He knew a lot of things. The more he knew, the damage could be even stronger of Bilam Rasha. So, and the opposite to Tov Ayin, as somebody that looks at things in a good way, is Moshe Rabbeinu. It says about Moshe Rabbeinu that he said, please Hashem, I just want to pass by and just want to watch, just to see the good land. That's how he saw Israel. God forbid, no negative, just good, just positive in his mind. Okay? This is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was, we know, always caring for others, always good. He was so humble, didn't think about himself. This is Tov Ayin. So, what about Yosef HaTzadik? What about, how was it? Something interesting. Usually, when somebody looks at somebody else, he checks, he examines his situation. Okay? In which circumstance he is right now. If that person is in a distress, he's in pain, he suffers, he sees that he's not happy because something bothers him, right? So the image that comes to him, okay, awakens, arouses some kind of mercy. Oh, he feels bad about him. And in the way that he looks at him, he wants, in a way, kind of to improve his condition, okay? And if the one that watches, he hates the guy that is suffering right now in front of him, okay? So he may be even happier that he sees him in pain.
So it's the intention and the thought behind the looks that makes the difference.
Right. And can add to his pain. Or it says about David HaMelech when he was mourning for the defeat of Israel by the Plishtim. He says, Al tagidu begat, don't tell people in Gat, which is a city, and don't tell people in Ashkelon, which is another city south of Israel, that pentismachna bnot Plishtim. We don't want the nation, the girls, the women of Plishtim to be happy of our defeat. And so, when somebody sees the success of another man and he doesn't like him, okay, as I said, this look arouses all kind of feelings, all kind of emotions, jealousy, envy, hatred sometimes, and this can damage the success of that person. So and it could nullify the success of that person also. Okay, how important is the person that watches, how he sees certain things. There was this lady by the name Esther. Esther was a graphic designer, was very successful, started working in a few places, few newspapers wanted to hire her because she was just very successful. She knew what she's doing. And she worked, she gave hours, she invested in it, she really liked her job. She continued learning and go through another course and learn, and she really had very interesting ideas and designs and stuff. Fine. She was very happy with her work until One day, new lady comes to town. Chavi. She was single, she was young, she didn't really know much, but she could devote time because she was single, she had time. And even though Esther was already taking care, commanding 5 women under her, you know, all graphic designers, in the beginning she didn't feel Chavi competes her. So she recommended herself that Chavi gets a permanent job. In the beginning she got just something temporary. She herself recommended she'll get something permanent and raise her salary, feel good. When she got married, this Chavi, she asked for a raise. She went to the boss and she asked him, and the boss raised her salary. This thing bothered Esther. All of a sudden she started feeling that now she competes her. So sometime later, the boss comes with, they had to take out this booklet, special booklet for a special event. And he really wants people to input into that booklet because the best companies, advertising companies, they invest a lot of money in here, and he really wants something special, not the ordinary thing that they do, not the regular thing, something different. And he comes to Chavi and he tells her, listen, I want you to take this job. No extra payment for that, just extra hours, a whole big headache, but he asked her to do that. Esther saw that. She felt upset. How come? I was the one that brought her to this job. I recommended on her, and now he doesn't even consult and he doesn't give me the, I want it. I want to be more. She felt bad, and you know, when somebody feels jealous, when somebody, it's all this negativism that you don't even think with logic. It just overcomes you, and so she goes to the boss later and she tells him, why not me? Why I'm not priority number 1 for this job? Why her? And he's like, you have family, you have kids, you have a husband, you have a home to run, and she just got married. She's not so much responsibilities on her. I just wanted to make it easier on you. She says, no, I want to get this job. I know I could do it. So you're sure? It's a lot of time and effort and no adding. You're not going to get anything on top of your salary. She says, yeah, I want to get it, just so that the other won't get it. And then she takes this job. Fine. I don't know how Hashem runs things sometimes, but all of a sudden, as she just gets this extra assignment that she has to do, her baby got sick with pneumonia. She had to go and spend, I don't know how many days in the hospital. And then her older daughter, she really needed, I don't know, she had some kind of problem. She needed to sit with her and discuss and talk to her and comfort her and calm down. And a lot of time this took. And then her brother was supposed to get married, and she had to find clothing for everybody, her kids, and who has time to go shopping, who has time to go buy dresses, who has time to... She didn't have time to help her parents, she didn't have time, nothing. But what about this job that she took? Even this she didn't have time. And she's like, it's a pain in the neck. What? She cannot now regret and go to the boss and tell him, listen, I don't have time. She cannot make a fool of herself. So she tries in between her sick baby and this wedding and this daughter that needs so much attention now, and running a normal home and being a wife and being a... She was trying to do this thing. The boss didn't like this job. He kept demanding her to change another thing and another design and another color, and this is not the idea that he wanted. He didn't, but she tried as much as she could, and she felt she's not giving 100% of her, but that's what she could do. And then the last moment when it's supposed to go out for printing, so they asked her over there, give me the 100%, okay, we'll print it. Her daughter just fell, something happened, she was gushing blood or whatever. She couldn't have time to look at this. She just pressed OK, and it went for printing. When it came out, they realized the big mistake that she didn't pay attention. and they had to waste all these thousands and thousands and thousands of booklets that came out, and the boss was so angry, he was so upset. He said, I knew you couldn't do it. Why did you? She insisted, she wanted, she. When she realized that she made this big mistake, yes, she quit her job. And of course, Chavi took her job. Not that she wanted, not that she did anything, but it's just, they say that a person can do to himself so much damage like 1,000 people cannot do to him. It's a person that does it to himself sometimes. This is when somebody is jealous. When somebody envies other people's success or whatever they have, all kind of negativism comes into him. And he acts, as we said before, no logic, no nothing. He just have to, because... So, people that are righteous, tzaddikim, okay? The look of them at certain things, they put, as I said, feelings and emotion and wishes into that to make it positive, okay? And when they do it, it's interesting. It says, "Ratzon Yere'av Yaseh." Hashem fulfills the wishes of Yere'av, of his people who are fearing him, okay? And this is the reason that there's no wonder why Hashem, in a way, fulfilled the wish of Sarah when she put an evil eye in Hagar. It's not that she didn't like Hagar. She was the one that recommended her. She didn't like the action that she did. She didn't like the way that she acted as she got pregnant. She didn't like the way that she was trying to boast and stuff. And this is when she put an evil eye on her pregnancy. And this is how, because Hashem listens to tzaddikim, to the way that they look at things, okay? So, yeah, in a way her wish was granted and she had a miscarriage. And this is what it says, Tov ayin hu yevorach. Don't say yevorach, say yevarech. That the look of somebody that has a good eye, that is somebody that's kind, okay? The blessing, the good intentions that he puts in these looks is accepted much faster. And Hashem does all whatever they wish. So if Hashem makes the wish of these righteous people, a regular person or any person that has feelings, emotions, wishes, wills, as he looks at things, sometimes Hashem accepts it also. And even enemies, we know that when somebody that doesn't like, an enemy looks at somebody that he doesn't like, all kind of emotions arouse, all kind of things, and he can bring all kind of justice to the world. Justice, midat hadin, I would say, justice, it doesn't really go like midat hadin. In English, justice would be like, midat hadin would be like anger, like punishment. It arouses this kind of things in the world. And the same way that person shouldn't go to a dangerous place, because at the time of danger, they check the person's files, and it's the easier thing for him to fall over there. He should be careful not to go late hours or not to go to a place of danger and stuff like that. And because the midat hadin is much stronger at that point, he has to be careful. So this is how a person has to be careful. Not to shake up too much on his success, not to show off too much. Okay, when you got something new, you got some I don't know, some things at home, or don't show off too much. Not to shake up this success that you have at that moment, because all kind of people watching, all kind of people looking. You have to be careful. So. Bakshi Daron says something interesting. Yaakov, he blesses Yosef ben Porat Yosef, ben Porat alei ain, and then also he says, he blesses his kids. He says, veidgu laor bekerev haaretz. Veidgu, they should multiply like fish. Dagim, veidgu, like fish. How many are in a fish? Thousands, okay, in one shot. But the blessing of fish that they multiply so much is because they're covered. Who sees them? They're underwater. Nobody sees. Okay? And this is the blessing that Yosef has. So there's no really duplication over here when we says the Yosef HaTzadik, he got a blessing for immunity, okay, in two aspects, two kinds of Lashon Hara. When we read in Atarat Nadarim before Rosh Hashanah, before Yom Kippur, we read the Nosach of Atarat Nadarim. They say over there that there is Ain Hara de Ohavim ve'Ain Hara de Sonim. Ain Hara that people who love you can put on you, and Ain Hara, evil eye, that people who hate you can put on you. Okay, there's two kinds of Ain Hara, and Yosef HaTzadik is protected from both of these kind of Ain Hara. A person that hates sees in every thing that he sees the negative, and it upsets him. How come he has a better home? How come a better house? How come he has, I don't know, his wife is nicer, their clothing, their jewelries, the cars, their belongings, everything bothers him, and it can nullify the good things that they have. So the source of the evil eye sometimes it's not only the success of him, but it's the look, it's the way, the sight of the person that hates and his bad feelings towards him and his success. And to nullify this Ain Hara Desonim, what do we have to do? He says the advice is just to be above it, is just not to collide too much with him. Don't be so much in the presence of this person. Don't let him watch you. Don't let him look at you. Don't invite him too much into your home. Let him see, look at my kitchen, look at the renovation, look at the new TV, look at the, I don't know. Okay? Don't do these things because, see it, Yosef HaTzadik. Since he left his home and went to the exile, to Egypt, he succeeded in every aspect in his life. He comes to the house of Potiphar, they loved him, they give him everything. He goes to the jail, the minister of the jail, the prison loves him, he gives him everything. When he becomes the king himself, the Paro loves him, he gives him everything, just handle everything, take care of everything. And nobody hated him for his success over there. They call him Avrech, they give him all kind of beautiful clothing, garments, and this is the immunity that Yosef HaTzadik got. And even if he is so much successful, it doesn't bother nobody. Okay?
So didn't show off.
So I'll mention it, I'll go to it in a second again. Yes, there is Ain Hara de Ohavim, that people who love him, not only people who hate him, people who love him can give him also. This is not hatred, but jealousy. People who love him, they don't hate him, but they feel jealous. How come? Yes. How come? And as they look at him, they have this wish, okay? They have a passion to whatever he has. They have a desire to the same.
You're going to have a desire to learn from it?
Excuse me?
To learn from it, to have it, to want it?
This is Kenat Sofrim Tarbe Chochma. This is something good. When you look at good qualities of somebody, Rachel Imenu. Kin'a ba'achota. What does it mean, kin'a ba'achota? She felt that her sister Leah has such good qualities, she wanted to be like her. That's not a problem. We speak here about מה זה לא תחמוד, not to envy. she has this kind of huge, let's say,
Materialistic
stones.
things.
I want exactly like that. I want this kind of a dress that she has. I want this kind of, I don't know, things that they have. Exactly like that I want. This is called envy. That's a problem. And this you cannot really ignore so much. You need protection. And this is a protection that only Yosef got. Okay, this immunity Yosef got. Why did Yosef get this protection? He was showing off in a way. How come he got this protection? So, Chazal say that Yosef HaTzadik, he was working so much on himself as he came to Egypt. As long as he was in his father's home, he did make a lot of mistakes. He suspected his brothers, he came and he told on his brothers to his father, he did some mistakes. He didn't have so much experience. He was young, he didn't know much. But as he was in Egypt, as he went through so much struggles, he was away from his father, from his brothers, being close, being next to the Egyptians all the time, no Torah, no good values. This is when he worked on himself. King David himself also went through a lot of struggles. And he appreciates David HaMelech. He says in Tehillim, Inu bakevel raglo, they tortured him very much. Barzel ba nafsho, it speaks about Eshet Potiphar that she made him look at her all the time. He would watch her, couldn't take his eyes out of her so that maybe he will desire her. Ad et bo dvaro imrat Hashem tzaraftav. Hashem, in a way, tzaraftav, purified him. He went through so much until it became purified like gold, okay, like silver, like gold. You have to. This is Yosef HaTzadik. He learned a lot as he was there. In the beginning, when he was young, first he didn't have so much. They say he didn't depend so much. He didn't have so much trust in Hashem. He depended on his father, the law of his father. He depended on his mother, the law of his mother. Then his mother went away. Then she passed away. Then his father wasn't available. Then he thought about his brother, his brothers. Please help me, take me away. They didn't listen to him. Then he went to Egypt. He asks for Sarah Mashkim to help him. He asks for Potiphar. He asks for this. When he became the ruler, he told Paro, Biladai. It's only Hashem. I am nothing. It's only Hashem. So first he learned how to fear Hashem and depend only on Hashem, not on anybody else. Okay? Yes, sir. But more than that, we speak here about these issues, him and his brothers, this hatred that was between him and his brothers. It says, Chazal say that the blessing that he got is not just a reward for his righteousness. It's a result for his perfection. Now that he made himself, he became perfect, okay, in his deeds, in the way he looks at things, and the way that he doesn't feel this hatred towards his brothers anymore. Yes, they damaged. Yes, they made wrong things to him. They sinned towards him. But he doesn't want revenge. He doesn't feel this. It says, an eye that is not nourished from things that it's not hers, Ayn Hara cannot control it.
Again?
Again. An eye that's not nourished from things that doesn't belong to her, an evil eye cannot control it.
I don't understand.
Okay. Ayn Hara is not only dependent on the one that looks, that watches. Ayn Hara depends also on the one that is seen, the one that you watch. And if he's perfect, the one that you watch, if he's perfect, it says that even the one that hates him cannot damage him, because cannot harm him, cannot do anything wrong to him. If he's bad and his behavior is not good, so even the eye of a kind person, okay, can harm him, like Sarah harmed Ishmael and Hagar. It says, it says, כמים הפנים לפנים, כן לב האדם לאדם. As you look at the water and you see the reflection of your face in the water, this is לב האדם לאדם. This is how people feel towards one another. This is this reflection that basically we have. The sentiments, the emotions, the feelings that you reflect, they influence mutually, okay, on the one that you look, and from the one that you look on the one that watches him. And let's say when somebody looks at somebody else, okay, and she cries, this other person. So naturally, sometimes when you look at somebody that's crying, you also start tearing. Why? It reflects. And when you see that somebody starts getting excited, you also start getting excited. Because this is how these things, Chazal tell us, because of this, not to look at wicked people's faces. Because when you see at a wicked person's face, so this is when you can attack to him, you can get attached to him. This is when, you know, his desires, his can go to you also, can affect you. It's contagious, like you said, right? So, and this is the reason it says, "Vayu enecha ro'ot et morecha." It's good to look at tzaddikim because the kedusha that screens from their face, from their, you know, can influence on us also. So,
how do you reach the perfection where you don't get anhara, like you said before? So
it's a lot of working on your qualities. If you know that